أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصمه ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون. اللهم اجعلنا من الشاكرين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. فالحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. I know probably many of you recognize the ayah I was reciting in the beginning, and this is the ayah that usually the khatib or the speaker uses to introduce us to the month of Ramadan. And here we are at the end of the month of Ramadan, and I'm choosing to recite this ayah before you and share some things from this ayah. I'd like to title this brief conversation you and I are going to have, inshallah, as parting advice from Allah. Parting reflections. As Ramadan is leaving us, this beautiful friend is leaving us, what are some things that should be on our mind that Allah Himself mentions in this beautiful ayah? The first thing I want to highlight to you, just that the Quran is very subtle in the lessons that it delivers to us. Allah Azza wa Jal drops, like there's this, it's a beautiful treasure. Every ayah is like a treasure, but every little detail in the ayah is like a pearl by itself, a diamond by itself. So you have to pay attention to the little details. Allah mentions, for instance, in the same passage, He started talking about fasting, right? And when He talked about fasting, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, famous ayat. When He talked about fasting, He mentioned at the end of that ayah the purpose of fasting. And He mentions لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. Now there's a little subtle difference in Arabic between saying لِتَتَّقُوا and لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. If you say لِتَتَّقُوا, then it means the purpose of fasting is that you should have taqwa. A should lead to B. But what Allah doesn't say that, He says لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, which الْأَوْسَعْ فِي الْمَعْنَى كما نقول في العربية. Like it's vaster in meaning. You know what it means? Hopefully you'll get taqwa out of it. Maybe you'll get taqwa out of it. You really should get taqwa out of it. In other words, Allah didn't make a guarantee between fasting and taqwa. But He did mention that if you do it right, and if you do your part correctly, and that is what the Prophet himself explains, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how do you do the fast correctly? How do you get it done correctly? Man sama Ramadan, imanan wa ihtisaban. Right? Imanan wa ihtisaban. If you have the right faith, the right attitude, right intention, that's on the one side. And then the other side is ihtisab, auditing yourself. Watch yourself. Keep a close eye on yourself. You know, like your boss keeps an eye on you? Those of you that have like a possessive boss, like that, keep an eye on yourself. If you can do those two things, then you're doing the fast right. And then you might get out of it the gift of the fasting. The gift, what you get at the end of it all, is not Eid. The gift at the end of fasting is taqwa. It's taqwa. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is the relationship between fasting and taqwa, very briefly. I don't want to give you an abstract philosophical conversation. Very, very realistic, easy to understand, practical connection between fasting and taqwa. Let's just first understand what taqwa is and why I refuse to translate it as fear. I don't agree with the translation that taqwa is fear. The word taqwa in Arabic comes from wiqaya. Wiqaya means protection. Ittiqa or taqwa means to protect yourself. Like, you know, on the Day of Judgment, everything is flat, you can't hide anywhere, you can't go into a hole, you can't go into a building. Allah Azza wa Jal makes it all flat. وَإِذَا الْأَرْضُ مُدَّتْ. So He says, وَكَيْفَ تَتَّقُونَ إِن كَفَرْتُمْ يَوْمَ يَجْعَلُ الْوِلْدَانَ شِيبًا. How are you going to protect yourself if you disbelieve? The day on which even babies are their hair is going to turn gray. How are you going to protect yourself? So the word taqwa Allah uses in the meaning of protecting yourself. So when we say have taqwa of Allah, you know what it means? Protect yourself from disappointing Allah, from making Allah angry, from displeasing Allah. Protect yourself from that. Protect yourself from becoming a loser. Allah says, فَاتَّقُوا النَّارِ. He doesn't just say have taqwa of Allah. He says, فَاتَّقُوا النَّارِ الَّتِي أُعِدَّتْ لِلْكَافِرِينَ. Protect yourself from the fire. Not just fear the fire. And here's the other reason I refuse to translate it as fear. We actually heard the Imam, it's interesting, I was going to use these ayat anyway, and the Imam recited it in the witr prayer. Shaitan tells the human being, ukfur, disbelieve. فَلَمَّا كَفَرْ. And when he does disbelieve, what does he say? إِنِّي بَرِيءٌ مِّنْكَ. I have nothing to do with you, bro. You did that all on your own. You can go further, you ain't my bro, right? But what does he say after that? إِنِّي أَخَافُ اللَّهَ رَبَّ الْعَالَمِينَ. I'm afraid of Allah. The word khawf, I have no problem translating as what? Fear. So even shaitan has khawf. We have khawf too, but we have something above and beyond khawf, which is taqwa. Let's understand that a little bit. The bank robber is afraid of the police or no? He's afraid of the police. He's still robbing the bank, isn't he? He is. Fear is not enough to not make you a criminal. Even the criminal is afraid of the authorities. You go a step further and you protect yourself from doing crime. You stop yourself. Taqwa includes the fear and what you do as a result of that fear. You know, the one who's afraid of the cop is going to stop at the red light. He still has khawf, right? But the criminal, who's afraid, his heart is pounding too when the cops are running after him. But he didn't protect himself. He didn't do the right thing. You follow? So taqwa is more than just fear. It asks for more. Now Allah says the purpose of fasting is taqwa. The thing of it is, you and I have to we have to behave a certain way throughout our waking day. And we have opportunities to obey Allah and we have opportunities to disobey Allah. And these opportunities, sometimes everybody's watching us, sometimes nobody's watching us. What you're listening to on the radio in your car, nobody knows but you and Allah. There's a couple of recording services Allah has installed on your shoulders. Other than that, nobody knows what's going on. Who you're talking to on the phone, nobody maybe know. What you wipe from the cache or the history of your web browser, nobody knows. Right? It's all between you and Allah, that's it. Nobody else. How you're dealing with people at work, nobody knows. Just you and Allah, nobody else knows. And a lot of times we're not aware, we don't feel that, the Muslim even fails to realize all the time that Allah is watching. That I should be careful. We lose consciousness of that. What happens in fasting is, you're fasting, it's hot, it's Texas after all. 100 degrees, 50 days now with one day off? 50, 60 days, 100 degrees or more? So when we fast, and especially those of you that go to work and come out, you sit in the car until the AC kicks in or whatever, you can feel the fast, you can feel the thirst. Whether you want to or not, your body will be screaming for water. Whether you're going to drink or not. And actively your body is asking you to disobey Allah. Your body and mine, as we are fasting and we feel hunger and thirst, our body is yelling at us to disobey Allah. And we keep telling our body, no, Maghrib, no. We have this conversation inside our body the entire day. And you're actively protecting yourself from making Allah unhappy. Even if you forget, your body doesn't let you forget. Even if you forget that, I'm fasting, your hunger will remind you that you're fasting. And then you'll have to literally tell your stomach, no, not right now. 2 more hours. You hold on. This is training. Because after this, right now our body is making us calling for something, and even the halal things we have to stop ourselves from. After this training month is over, Allah says, go back, you can have these halal things, but this training should help you now stay away from what? The haram things. وَلِتُكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةِ. And training is really important. Training, when somebody goes to training, they can't even miss a single day. If any of you have been to training, training is a very concentrated program, right? They'll have 10 days, 20 days, whatever they have, and you cannot miss a single day. You'll be disqualified from the program. So what used to be the case is before Ramadan was revealed, the Prophet ﷺ used to fast. Even before Ramadan came down. And Allah calls them أَيَّامًا مَعْدُودَات. Few days. Ma'dudat jam'u qilla bil Arabiyya, yani less than 10. Those few days. Middle 3 days of the month, or up to 9 days, etc., etc. And at that time, if you miss a fast, then you had 2 options. The option was you should make it up, or you can feed the poor. عَلَى الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ فِدْيَةٌ طَعَامُ مِسْكِينٍ. Then Allah revealed Ramadan. Now Ramadan is not a few days, how many days is it? 30 days. So it's already harder. It's already harder. And if you miss a fast for some reason, you got sick, فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا, or you're traveling, أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ. If you're traveling, then now you don't have 2 options, you only have 1 option, you have to make it up. What was the other option? You could feed the poor. That option is no longer there.